Okay, Gary, I say we go. Welcome, everybody. I'm Scott.Arnold, VP of Sales for Successful Channels. Thank you for joining our Channel Masters event. As I'm sure you've realized, attendees will be muted during the presentation. We've allocated 30 minutes for the presentation and 30 minutes at the end for Q&A. So during the presentation, please enter your questions using the Q&A button. It's on the Zoom toolbar, usually at the bottom of your screen. If you don't see the Q&A button, click the three dots that says more on the right end. It should show up then. We will do our best to answer all the questions during at the end of the presentation, actually. My contact information along with Bob's will be in the chat, so feel free to reach out to us after the session if you found any of the topics especially interesting or would like to discuss some implementation questions. And if you have any difficulties during the presentation, I'll be monitoring that chat. So please feel free to use that for any difficulties. At this time, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Gary Morris, founder and CEO of Successful Channels, and he will present the 4 key elements of a high performance channel, how to implement them in Q4 in order to supercharge your channel initiatives for 2022. Successful Channels is a software company that provides channel managers tools which are integrated with other channel systems. And with that, I'll turn it over to Gary for the presentation.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everybody to the Channel Masters event. About 9 years ago, we adopted this channel manager role. This was what we felt was the most underserved role in the channel for building partner commitments, building partner capabilities, and building partner-led revenue. As I think most of you know, channel management is one of the most difficult roles where a channel manager is expected to be a business consultant, an enablement consultant, a financial consultant, a marketing and sales consultant, and supporting so many different attributes of a partnership relationship. And much of that relationship is managed off of Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint, and Word. So we set out almost 9 years ago to build a set of tools to help much more effectively measure, manage, and motivate partnerships of all kinds. And so, this presentation is just to highlight some of the findings over the past 8 or 9 years and present it as a sort of a blueprint for a high performance channel. The folks you've got on this call are the executive team at Successful Channels, CEO and founder. We've got Scott, who's our VP of Sales, and Bob is a VP of Business Development. All 3 of them are panelists, and all 3 of them are available for both follow-up, but also for Q&A. So as far as kind of the outline of this presentation, start with tell them what you're going to tell them. There's 4 topics that we're going to cover in enabling a high performance channel. How do you achieve accelerated growth for your channel? It's a mission that's on everyone's to-do list, but how do you do it in a practical sense? How do you improve channel manager productivity, that role that I described that has so many things to do and not enough time? And at the same time, how do you build partner satisfaction levels, create highly motivated and satisfied partners that prefer your brand, where you get a disproportionate share of their time and resources? And then finally, how do you increase the return on investment you're generating on channel marketing funds? So I'm going to tackle each one of those topics one at a time and speak about practices and implementation tools to support the achievement of those through that channel management role and that channel management function. Okay, so let's start with partners. What do they really expect from their vendors, from their partnership relationships? I know there are more than these 4 partnership types, but this is just giving you a sense for the complexity of the channel. Resellers are looking for differentiated products that they can build an attractive resale margin and build services around. Managed service providers are looking to white label and host delivery options, and then build additional value-added services around their hosted solutions. ISVs, independent software vendors, are looking to snap in or enhance their services offering with other vendors' solutions. And they're looking for lots of technical integration support services. And system integrators, obviously are, consultants. They're looking to access vendor resources to build and deploy these solutions, along with a robust set of services. So they're looking for all of these types of solutions. So then the question, so those are the unique needs, and then across all partnerships, there are universal requirements. They're looking for committed vendors that have programs, tools, staff, and systems to support their partner business. That they're looking to work with those vendors that will work with them to help them become more successful. They're looking for sales enablement. The expectation is that there will be very active sales collaboration between the vendor sales teams and the partner sales teams to develop new sales opportunities. They're looking for marketing enablement to provide leads, but also provide demand generation programs and market development funds, some ways to fund additional demand generation. And then technical enablement to help support the development of solutions and services and implementation. So there's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of things that vendors need to provide partners, or partners expect from vendors, in order to have a successful partnership. And now we're left with what we would consider a virtually impossible task. How can this, compare and contrast the role of a channel manager to a direct sales executive. This isn't to take anything away from a direct sales executive, but it's a lot simpler role. You're selling a solution versus a channel manager, which is a true business advisor, a consultant across business enablement, marketing enablement, services enablement, sales enablement, business planning, strategic planning, operations, logistics. Even a world-class channel manager can very easily feel overwhelmed with the needs and expectations from their job. It's one of the hardest roles in virtually any industry. And there isn't, and to some extent, we would argue that this channel management role is kind of a forgotten role, that other technology segments really aren't directly focused on enabling them to be successful. So that's where we've spent the last 9 years, really enabling the channel manager to be much more successful. So what we're going to focus on is, how do we take those overwhelmed, overworked, highly complex jobs of a channel manager and turn them into super women and supermen to enable them to drive measurable revenue growth, to motivate and manage growth with all of their assigned partners, to be able to manage in a much more productive fashion, more partners, more effectively in less time. And to, at the same time, build highly satisfied, highly loyal, highly motivated partners to deliver a satisfied partnership relationship where they are disproportionately investing in your brand. And then at the same time, deliver ROI-driven, partner-led demand generation programs. So it seems like, such a complex, such a daunting task. So what we've done is we tried to break this down into these 4 parts. We're going to go component by component and talk about the tools, the practices, the methodologies to help you achieve all 4 of these outcomes with channel executives. So I'm going to kind of break down, so this is a summary slide, but sort of a breakdown of what are the tools and practices to help achieve these types of outcomes, okay? So the first is growth. So one of the things with growth is, in order to achieve growth, you're looking to build a disproportionate commitment from your partnerships. If I'm a security vendor, a cloud vendor, a networking vendor, whatever it is that I'm providing, I'm looking for my partners to disproportionately commit sales time, marketing time, executive time to building my brand business. So you achieve that through building joint business planning. That is where both vendor and partner are committing to each other with a strong joint business plan, a commitment to each other, an expression of joint commitment. The part of the outputs of the joint business planning is a set of tasks. So you set goals, strategies, and activities. So you've got to have a way to manage those tasks and keep track of those tasks. And then create periodic business reviews. How are we doing on those tasks and those goals? Are we doing monthly business reviews and quarterly business reviews? And how are we tracking the status on our action plans? It's a lot to do, okay? It's a lot to do to build these committed and managed relationships. Okay, the second is productivity. So I'm doing this across 10, 20, 30 partners as a channel manager. So I need delivered on a silver platter dashboards that give me the status of goals and activities. I need workflow tools. I'm not an expert as a channel manager. I'm not an expert on business planning, on partner enablement, on partner advising and scorecarding and action planning. So I need a guided process to turn me into an expert. Workflow tools that are designed to help me do my job more efficiently and more effectively. Reminder systems to say, oh, hey, this week you've got these 4 tasks for this partner and these 2 tasks for these partner. Make sure you follow up on those. So the partners are reminded and you're reminded. And then access and reporting. I'm not just doing this for one partner, I'm doing this for many partners. So I've got to have access to the dashboards and workflow tools and plans across a range of partners and reporting. Okay, partner satisfaction. While I'm doing this, one of the interesting things that we've found is that partner business planning, scorecarding, and QBR management historically is the value proposition has been very one way, from the partner to the vendor. But what we found is that you can build loyalty and satisfied partners when partners get direct and immediate value from participating in this process. Assessments that tells them where they are relative to what's expected of them. Scorecards that compare them to best practices and compare them to their peers. And then based on that, the creation of a customized improvement action plan in minutes and performance to plan reporting. Doesn't it sound great to be able to have all this stuff done instantly and effectively? And then finally, ROI management is the ability to recommend. So one of the things we've heard from partners is that, hey, you guys at the vendor, you're experts at what works. Organize the marketing goals around what I'm looking for, and then recommend activities that are proven to work. If I'm looking to drive more pipeline, show me which activities have worked in the past and recommend those. And then automatically calculate what the anticipated ROI of these kinds of things are. What do I know about registration rates and attendee rates of an event and conversions into MQLs and SQL? Help me calculate what anticipated conversions are at each one of these levels for these marketing activities. So I have realistic expectations for what the return on investment would be of a marketing activity. And then help me measure and manage marketing activities over time. So this is the outline of kind of a best practice channel management process. Okay, so let's start with our first poll. Scott, I'm going to have you bring up the poll, but the first poll question is, what are the most important factors for achieving growth for your partners? So Scott, are you able to activate that role? Okay, perfect. So thank you, Scott. Please select all that apply by simply clicking on the check boxes next to those, and let's see what type of results we're able to generate. Scott, do you see?
I do. I see the tallies coming fast and furious. Thanks, everybody. Please keep it coming. Once I see a lull in the activity, we'll give everyone another minute or two, but I see lots of responses coming in still. So thanks for that. Okay. We're slowing down. Anyone else want to weigh in? Here we go. Here's a few more. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Let me end the poll and show those results. How's that, Gary? Can you see the?
I can see it. That's great. Okay. Well, it looks like most of the stuff is important, but clearly a collaborative selling and committed partners and capable partners are, are top important priorities. I mean, committed partners to your brand. I mean, what channel wouldn't want that? Any given category. I mean, let's face it, we all have competitors, and partners have to make a choice. They can't sell 5 security vendors and 5 cloud vendors and 5 compliance vendors and 5 networking vendors. That you have to focus on the few that you can build services around. So building committed partners, it sounds like a very universal agreement. And then capable partners is about enablement. Boy, that's the challenge we talked about, channel managers, to get technical enablement, sales enablement, marketing enablement, and certification. And then collaborative selling is obviously so critical, is the ability for co-selling with the channel sales team and the partner sales team, and be able to see what are the ways in which you can sell together. And these other things are also more important, but I was really encouraged to see what we've got here. So all right, so now we've got, I think, a good poll results. Let's kind of dive into kind of the elements of building growth. Okay, so this is what we're calling a partner performance dashboard. This is what we would say is an expression of partner commitment. Most channel programs have certain metrics that they're looking their partners to commit to. So when you guys cited commitment as one of the top priorities, commitment can take the form of, let's say, a revenue commitment, performance to plan, or performance to plan to achieve a program tier or an average deal size. But there are also like rep metrics, like which reps are registering deals, which reps are selling deals. Wouldn't it be great if you could, on a dashboard, say, let's say you're a channel executive talking to your partner, and you can say, hey, George Bailey and Mary Hatch were the ones registering, closing all the deals. Let's see what they were doing and see if we can get all of the reps doing that. Deal metrics, where we can dive into the deals by type, or the by close date or by registration date, so we can look at the health of the pipeline. You can take the same metrics and apply it to product or even end customer metrics, new logos, net new, add-on, win rate, cycle time, et cetera. So what this is a set of program metrics that is delivered on a single page, a one-page, think of it as like a one-page business plan in QBR. So literally, anytime you speak to a partner, you can have a discussion about how are you doing on your program commitments? Are you achieving those? And what can we do to get you back on track for your revenue commitments, your rep commitments, your end customer commitments? So what this does is through syncing with your other channel systems, automatically updating it. Not only can you view it online, but it exports instantly to PowerPoint. So it's kind of an instant performance dashboard. Another area that we cited, which was really encouraging, the number 2 item that was cited in terms of important for generating growth, is capabilities. So if most of you, I'm sure you're familiar with partner profiles. You've seen, the profiles. What are the typical profile questions are? The number of sales reps, the number of inside reps, which brands they sell, what are your sales capabilities and marketing capabilities? These are not necessarily attributes that are captured in Salesforce or in other systems. These are kind of non-tracked attributes. So this is a 4-step process where you can take the partners through a questionnaire, assess them versus a brand best practice, and in allowing your channel managers in 5 minutes time to generate a partner scorecard. 0 to 33 is red, 34 to 66 is yellow, 67 and higher is green. Partners love this. They love to see how they compare with your best practice. And they love to see how they compare with your peers. I'm sorry, you can't, very small font, it shows you. So this partner is doing 49% of the vendor-defined best practices versus 50% of your peers. This breaks down into a series of categories, and each category breaks down into a series of topics. Sorry for the small font size, social marketing capabilities, email marketing. These are just examples. You would create your own best practice, your own set of categories and topics. And that what this does is it turns your channel managers into instant expert capabilities development consultants. I can assess my partner, I can create a scorecard, I can export this to PowerPoint, and then I create an action plan to turn my reds to yellows and my yellows to greens. Other parts of building growth are things like action planning tools to create select from recommended goals, recommended activities, and build action plans to support the achievement of those. And then other profile attributes, all part of a comprehensive planning process. Key executives, what's how many years have you been in business, the key focus areas. So you're collecting all the critical elements from that partnership in your comprehensive business plan. And then another chapter in the book is if a partner, not all partners are MDF eligible, but for those, oftentimes we find maybe the top 15% of partners would be eligible for marketing plans. This is a guided workflow process to create a marketing plan in best practice in 15, 20 minutes. You select a period, a quarter, a semi-annual or annual plan. You define your marketing goals, your business goals, and then you select from recommended marketing actions. You detail those marketing actions, and then you build your lead waterfall forecast automatically. It will automatically create an outcome forecast based on the definition of your details, and then you can submit this directly into your funds management system. So we at Successful Channels, we integrate with funds management systems along with CRM. So this is really complementary to your funds management system, not competitive. And then all roads lead to a task management system, a comprehensive place where all of your scorecard action plan tasks, your marketing action plan tasks, and your business action plan tasks all feed into one unified task management system. So you can say for any given partner, what are the tasks we need to cover this week? What marketing activities, what capabilities activities, what certification, what contracting activities that have been completed. So you can keep track of, by partner, what are the active tasks that are necessary for that task. And this rolls up to a channel manager view. So a channel manager that's managing 20, 30 partners can see all of the tasks across all their partners. So now what was virtually an impossible task is now possible. It's all rolled up into a unified task management dashboard for managing tasks across a wide range of partners. Okay, so that was how do we build growth. Let's go to the second chapter, which is productivity. What are the most important factors for improving channel team productivity? So Scott, if you could bring up the panel, these are the same thing, click all that apply, things that you feel are important for improving the productivity of your channel team.
Let's try to do poll number 2.
Great.
There we are. How's that?
Great. So just selected all that apply, and Scott will monitor the findings.
Responses are coming in. Thank you. We'll give it another minute. Very active. Thanks for all the responses. Okay, we seem to slow down. There's one more. Oh, here we go. Anyone else? All right. We'll end the poll here. Let me share the results.
Nice work, Scott. Okay, so looks like performance dashboards that bring forward all of your performance on key metrics is important, and then detailed sales and pipeline certification performance. So this is another key dashboard metric. So elimination of administration work, partner scorecards. I mean, it looks like, I mean, plus or minus, they're all everyone seems to have an appreciation for the ability to streamline and automate a lot of these highly manual tasks. So I'm going to close this and just keep moving on here. So one of the things we talk about in terms of making channel management more efficient, I've broken it down into two kind of categories. One is individual partner management. That is what you guys cited, is kind of one-page dashboards that can show performance for an individual partner, and a one-click MBR, QBR, PowerPoint template, and consolidated task management seem to be, important for managing individual partners. And then once you have this, a roll-up of this for tracking performance across partners and be able to track, did we complete the weekly, monthly, and quarterly QBRs? And then roll-up reporting. There's something we call parametric reporting, and partner segmentation, which gives you the ability to say, I want to see all partners that. And then you can say, all right, all partners that have at least 3 salespeople, that are 110% of their plan, that are selling into manufacturing and high tech, that have executed this campaign. So that's excellent for targeting campaigns and figuring out coverage gaps. So once you have the individual partner, this is basically data profiling. You can do this to do instant segmentation and parametric reporting, the ability to cross partner manage as well as individual partner management. So let's take another let's talk about partner satisfaction. So one of the other task areas is, while we're doing all this, we want to create committed, loyal partners. So what are the most important factors for increasing partner satisfaction? Take a look at those. And Scott, if you can activate that, please. So please select all that apply. What are the most important factors for increasing partner satisfaction levels? Getting loyal, committed, satisfied partners. That's what we're looking to track in our third poll here. How are the results looking, Scott?
They're coming in fast and furious. We have 68 of our 88 attendees have participated.
That sounds great. Let's
so
see
thank
what
you for that. And looks
survey
like
says.
And we'll share those results.
All right. Woo, easy to do business with. I love it. Well, that's that's a home run right there. And then attractive margin and collaborative processes. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a theme here of how easy you are to do business with, and a lot of that is program complexity, the ability to understand what it's going to take to be successful with a brand in minutes. So, part of what we would argue, part of your partner value proposition in how you are to do business with is how easy is there a path to execute, to build new sales pipeline opportunities, to build a collaborative planning process between the partner and the brand. And so, even though I noticed you said that planning and scorecarding methods, these are lower probability, these are methods to help you make it easy to do business with and to differentiate you versus your competitors. Okay, so let's take a look at the next slide here.
Gary, I'm going to, as I stop sharing this, I'm going to remind you that we're approaching the 30-minute mark.
Great.
So I'm sure there's going to be eager Q&A, but just a reminder from a time standpoint.
Sure, I'll rip through this. Okay, so the last is to how do you make your preferred brand is you need to differentiate your brand not only through your product differentiate, but how you help your partners succeed. So if you provide smart tools and blueprints, that makes you different. If you build preference through making your brand easier to sell and showing them how to be more profitable, and then showing your partners how easy it is to achieve your goals and how easy it is to become more effective by guided step-by-step processes. So these are just a set of tools that are designed to help make you be easier to do business with, to help show partners a path to be more capable, more committed, and more successful partnerships. So we've got one more poll, which is talk about what are the most important factors for increasing the ROI of channel invested funds? Scott, let's see the poll. So please select all that apply. What are the highest ROI channel, those activities to increase the ROI of your marketing investments? Scott?
Okay, yeah, lots of responses coming in. Very active. 50 or 55 respondees. Yes, please keep them coming. All right, we seem to be settling out. Couple more stragglers. Here we go. Thank you. Okay, that should do it.
Great.
Let's share these results.
I love it. Better marketing planning process and is your number 2, and then campaign execution, better aligned marketing actions. I love that too, because your partners aren't experts in your marketing. They're expecting you to be experts in marketing. So to the extent at which you can align your marketing actions with the outcomes that your partners are looking to achieve, the more satisfactory and the more successful that they will be. And then support with execution to help them through concierge services or guided campaign execution is a key to their success. All right, why don't we just keep rolling here, Scott? Let's move on to the kind of the last set of slides. So one of the things that we have found, and it's just sort of echo what you guys said, better marketing plans through a guided planning process with recommended goals, recommended strategies, recommended tactics, better targeted marketing activities that are targeted at the outcomes that partners are looking to achieve. So improved tactic selection, better forecasts. So I have a realistic expectation of what am I going to get? How many registrants are going to convert into attendees, and how many attendees are going to convert into leads? And then better outcome tracking is the ability to associate a campaign ID with a lead and have it be part of the downstream pipeline management tracking, so I can actually track marketing influence revenue. And so this is an example of a 5-step workflow process to help build a marketing plan that sets goals, activities, details, builds a lead waterfall forecast, and creates a submission directly into the funds management system. The tools we've been talking about today complement your other channel systems. PRM is the core operational components of a channel ecosystem. It helps vendors do business with their partners. It's very operational oriented. How do you distribute leads and register opportunities and partner finders? The tools that we've been talking about today are focused on channel sales enablement and channel management, scorecarding, business planning, marketing planning, QBR management. And it complements all the other incentives and to and through partner marketing and accreditations and certifications and funds management, et cetera. So just to summarize what we've been talking about is there's sort of 4 legs of the stool here. How do you achieve disproportionate growth with your partners as you get them committed through collaborative business plans, scorecards, and regular MBRs and QBRs? It's not to say that channel organizations don't do them. They just don't do them often enough and don't do them systematically. This is a way to do it much more systematically and in a fraction of the time. To do it productive, there's too much to do and not enough time. The only way channel managers are going to succeed in building commitments, capabilities, and partner-led revenue is to automate and streamline the way they manage their tasks with workflow tools, dashboards, and instant exports. And along the way, you can build more loyal partners. Give them direct, immediate values. Compare them to your best practice. Compare them to your peers. So, and then build custom improvement action plans so they can become better and give you a more disproportionate share of their time. And finally, you can achieve higher ROI in your marketing plan with better plans, better forecasts, better execution, and better measurement. So how do you reach successful channels? Here's the key executive team. Just wanted to bring to your attention, this is our 5th year sponsoring the Channel Focus event. It's a great event. It's going to be held in November. You can use that code to get a discount. If you're planning on attending, we'll be one of the sponsors. And we're also one of the founding members of the Channel Marketplace. So it's a one-stop shop for channel management tools. So all of those are. So Scott, have we received any inquiries and Q&As along the way?
Okay, so let's open that the Q&A up at this point.
Okay. So while we're here, maybe I got a question for Bob. So Bob, what have you found? I know you've got the most experience. That's a complimentary way of saying. And is it, what do you think are the key things that channel executives need for growth in 2022? What do they need to be focusing on, Bob, to really to generate deeper commitments and capabilities for their partnerships?
Well, I think probably the most fundamental thing is communication. Being able to communicate directly with your partners, being able to give them the feedback that they need, and set certain goals so they know what to work towards. One of the problems in the past has been that there has been limited communication with the partners, and sometimes you find out things later that could have been resolved earlier in the process. So having a dashboard or having some sort of a scorecard that gives you indications of where you are within the channel gives you the kind of thing you need in order to be more effective in managing the whole process. So I would say communications is the absolute #1 thing, and providing a tool that gives you the feedback is critical.
Bob, in your experience, what are some of the communication breakdowns? What are the things that haven't happened? Is it simply not communicating, or are there specific, program terms or components that haven't really been very well understood? What are the breakdowns that channel executives really need to, keep top of mind in managing their partnerships?
Well, again, I think it gets back to the fact that, as you mentioned right at the beginning of your presentation, channel managers are really overwhelmed with the amount of work that they need to do. And sometimes it just becomes a time limitation. And if you're doing things mechanically, or if you're not doing it with the proper tools, it just makes it increasingly difficult to be communicating with your partners. The other thing is, I think that the partners have to feel as though you're willing to listen to them, and you're willing to make adjustments and make certain things that make it clear that you are really working with them. So again, communicating with them, providing them the tools necessary to communicate with you, and then just being there. I mean, in the end, people like to be taken care of. People like to be thought of as important. And I think that's a critical factor. And of course, having information that makes it more relevant to the individual partner rather than a broad spectrum makes it even more interesting for them as well.
Thank you, Bob. That's a good point. So Scott, you have a long career in the technology channel, and I know you managed several, as a senior channel executive, managed partners in your segment. I think it was barcoding, and I'm not sure if it's done. But can you talk about kind of some of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome in managing channels, and what tools like this could have meant to you, kind of turning the clock back to when you were leading a channel organization?
One of the biggest challenges we came up with was we were in a crowded space. The companies that I worked for were the leader or among the leaders in that industry segment.
What,
So
say what companies you work for, Scott?
for Symbol Technologies, who was a leader in handheld scanning and mobility devices. It now has morphed through a couple of acquisitions into the mobile product line of Zebra Technologies, is a company that may be more current and more recognizable. So we were a great product line to have, but we're always battling for mind share of the direct salespeople and mind share of the executive management. And these tools are great, give you the ability to do that, to bring some real value. You know, they always want leads and they always want better margins, but here's a way to bring additional value to that relationship. And I hope that covers that, because I do have a question came in here that I'd like to share, Gary. I think this one's really for you, and it's really is, can you provide like a ballpark implementation cost to get started with 10 to 20 strategic partners? You know, give us an order of magnitude of what that expenditure might look like, and how long would it take to implement? Is there time to do that in Q4 to get ready for?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it can be as little, it can be under $1,000 a month, you know, for 10, 20, you know, to get started. And then it can be, we've implemented it in as little as 30 days. So, but generally it's between 30 and 60 days to get, because when you think of scorecards and dashboards and QBRs, it's really an expression of your program. The technology is the slave, your program is the master. So your program defines what are the outcomes that you're looking for. What's the profile of the ideal partner that you're looking to develop? And then these tools can be there to help you represent. It's a representation of what you're looking for. What is the commitment you're looking for to achieve your program outcomes? And what is the profile of the partners that can be successful with your brand? So if you're saying, you know, being successful, what are the attributes of, you know, marketing enablement and sales enablement and technical enablement? What are what's the verticals that you cover? What are your expertise areas? Those you build into your scorecard, and then you're equipping your channel team members to assess partners and saying, are you a good fit? And if you're, let's say you're doing 40%, that can work, and say, all right, well, let's build an action plan to get your reds to yellows and your yellows to greens, so you can be a more successful partner. So I mean, the whole idea here is there's no partnership that's perfect. You know, every vendor and every partner has some gaps. The key is figuring out what are the needs on both ends. How do we collaborate to build what each of you are looking for, and then build a customized, successful action plan to become, you know, to build a business together. You know, one of the most satisfying parts of the planning process that we found is the chat feature, where channel managers, approvers, and partners can chat back and forth, in addition to meeting on an ongoing basis with, you know, ways in which they can enhance their plans and approve their plans. There's a whole plan and activity submission and approval workflow to get to a collaborative planning process. And it really is collaboration that generates, you know, what Bob was talking about is communication. You know, you communicate, but what we're really trying to do is saying, what are you looking for? What are we looking for? How do we bring those together in a mutually agreed upon plan? And you know, I just keep thinking about being empathetic to that poor channel manager who has to be an expert in everything. You know, it's our responsibility to equip that channel team member with what the ideal partnership looks like and how can they be successful, and kind of a series of practices. That's the hard work. Once you've done that, you've equipped your channel team member to build successful partnerships. Scott, I can see some other chat questions coming in. What else do we have?
Yeah, so just to follow up on that, Gary, you said $1,000 a month. So for an annual commitment, $1,000 to $2,000, depending on the number of channel partners. and maybe 12 to 15,000 one-time costs for implementation?
Plus or minus, yeah. It just depends on the complexity of the organization, whether or not we're integrating with Salesforce and your PRM system and others. But yes, we routinely integrate with with PRM systems, with single sign-on, with user experience integration, with data integration, because we realize these tools are a part of your existing channel infrastructure. It has to, so we have tools that help you snap in. We don't want to replace, we want to augment and complement your other channel tools.
Okay, let's see. I have got another one. How do you support partner planning and tracking across RTMs or GTMs in i.e. a partner doing resell/deploy managed services? And do you look at each separately, or is there a way to do it historically? Oh,
yeah, it's a great question, because if there's a number of different partner types and regional requirements, what we have found and what we spent while we've been doing this for almost 9 years is that regions and partner types and levels and any other criteria sets different expectations. Not all partnerships are equal, but they have different requirements, they have different enablement needs, there's different focus areas. So this whole system can be configured by partner type, by region, by any criteria that you want, so that you can provide a partnership development, a partnership planning system that works for all of your partner types. So there's a lot of configuration options that allow you. What we found, generally speaking, I'm going to generalize, that if you took all partners across all partner types, maybe 60% of the plans are kind of in common, and then 40% are unique by regions or by types or by whatever attributes. And it's just a simple setting in our system to say, all right, hey, these are the unique components for MSPs or ISVs, and then, but here are some other unique attributes that are only applicable to them. So it's all aspects of the planning system can be configured conditionally based on whatever unique attributes you have by region, by type, by level, by whatever. I hope that answered that question.
Okay. I think you've covered the other questions we have here. I would like to, we've got a few minutes left. If someone would like to add a question through Q&A or the chat, either would work. And I would like to remind, sorry, Bob, go ahead. Do you have something to say?
Just one comment. I think Mr. Quinn from one of the companies wanted to know if they'd be receiving a copy of the presentation. And I think the answer is yes. And the answer is that the presentation has been recorded. So for your colleagues who haven't been able to attend, they'll be able to do this as well.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Right. Well, this was a lot of fun. We've spent 9 years studying this channel management role. This has been a role that's been, these task areas have been largely managed through Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint, or not managed, partner business planning, scorecarding, marketing planning. It's been a painful process. It hasn't been very satisfying to partners. And one of the biggest, frustrations from partners is you create some type of a business plan or a scorecard and they never see it again. So why did I bother to do that in the first place? So if you're going to do it, then only do it if you're prepared to do regular updates, regular monthly business reviews, quarterly business reviews, task reviews. Only do it if you're in a position to follow up on it, because all you're going to do is frustrate your partnerships. We'd love to talk to any of you about your current processes and how they could be automated and streamlined, how this could be integrated in. Scott and Bob are available, and and if you would like a demo, you can certainly contact us to arrange that as well. Any closing thoughts, Scott or Bob?
Bob, you first.
Thanks everybody for coming. Obviously, there's a lot to learn, a lot to do, and a lot of information that's been transmitted here. So feel free to get in touch with either Scott or myself. We can set up a time to chat. and do a deeper dive and see whether or not it makes sense for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. My closing thought is that hopefully Gary has conveyed to you that we understand the challenges of your channel organization, and we've got years of experience and some great software tools to help you manage and grow your channel.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye for now.